When it comes to comedy legends, few names carry as much weight as Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler. Both have dominated Hollywood for decades, delivering unforgettable performances and redefining comedy for entire generations. But today, we're diving deep to answer one burning question: who's more successful? And who's made more money? This isn't just about who made us laugh harder. It's about who built the bigger empire, who had more cultural impact, and who's left the bigger legacy in Hollywood and beyond. Stick around, because by the end of this video, the answer may surprise you. Jim Carrey was born in Ontario, Canada, and grew up in a working-class family that faced some serious hardships. In his teenage years, Carrey even lived in a van with his family for a period. But from a young age, Jim was obsessed with comedy and impressions. He got his first major exposure in the 1990s on the sketch comedy show In Living Color, where he quickly became a breakout star. Adam Sandler, on the other hand, was born in Brooklyn and raised in New Hampshire. His road to fame also began with comedy, stand-up gigs, which eventually led him to Saturday Night Live in the early 90s. While his early sketches were divisive, Sandler quickly became a fan favorite for his goofy songs and offbeat characters. Both got their starts in sketch comedy, but their styles were already radically different. Jim was energetic, rubber-faced, and explosive. Adam was low-key, awkward, and often weirdly endearing. Jim Carrey exploded onto the big screen in 1994 with 3 back-to-back hits: Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber. That's right, all in the same year. These movies not only made Jim a global sensation, they solidified him as the king of slapstick and physical comedy. Adam Sandler's breakout came a bit later. Billy Madison, 1995, and Happy Gilmore, 1996, turned him into a household name. These films were box office successes and developed cult followings that still quote lines today. Unlike Carrey, whose style was more over the top, Sandler leaned into absurdism, often portraying man-children in ridiculous situations, and audiences loved it. In terms of immediate impact, Jim Carrey's rise was faster and louder. But Sandler was laying the groundwork for something bigger: control. Let's talk numbers. Jim Carrey's films have grossed over $5 billion worldwide. Some of his biggest hits include Bruce Almighty, $484 million, The Mask, $351 million, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, $345 million. He was once the highest-paid actor in the world, famously earning $20 million for The Cable Guy, a record at the time for a comedic actor. Adam Sandler's movies, surprisingly, have made even more, over $5.5 billion globally. His biggest theatrical hits include Hotel Transylvania, $358 million, Grown Ups, $271 million, and Big Daddy, $234 million. But Sandler also did something Carrey didn't. He shifted to streaming and owned it. With his multi-film deals with Netflix, Sandler reached massive global audiences without ever setting foot in theaters. His 2019 deal was worth $250 million. According to Netflix, his films are some of the most watched ever on the platform. Murder Mystery racked up over 170 million views. In terms of sheer money earned from movies, Sandler wins, barely. When we talk about acting chops, Carrey has the edge. He's taken on dramatic roles that stunned audiences and critics alike. The Truman Show was a turning point, earning him a Golden Globe. Man on the Moon brought him another. And Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is often considered one of the greatest films of the 2000s. But despite his range and powerful performances, Carrey has never been nominated for an Oscar, a glaring omission that frustrates many fans. Sandler, surprisingly, also turned heads with serious roles. In Punch Drunk Love, he showed a more vulnerable, intense side. And in Uncut Gems, he gave the performance of his career, chaotic, stressed, and raw. Many believed he deserved an Oscar nomination. But it didn't happen. So in terms of critical acclaim, Carrey has the more consistent dramatic record. But Sandler proved he could go deep when he wanted to, and his work was just as powerful. Now let's get to what you really want to know. Who has the bigger bank account? As of 2025, Jim Carrey has an estimated net worth of $180 million. Adam Sandler is worth an estimated $440 million. Why the massive difference? 2 words: Happy Madison. Sandler created his own production company, Happy Madison Productions, which produces most of his films. That means he gets a bigger slice of the pie, not just as an actor, but as a producer and creative lead. It's a business move that's made him incredibly rich. Jim Carrey, on the other hand, focused more on performance and less on building a production empire. He took big paychecks and box office hits, but never diversified into streaming, merchandising, or massive ownership deals like Sandler did. So when it comes to who's made more money, it's not even close. Adam Sandler wins by hundreds of millions. Jim Carrey has always had a loyal fan base. His spiritual awakening, political statements, and art have made him a fascinating, sometimes polarizing figure. Some admire his honesty and philosophical nature. Others miss the old Jim, the wild, zany performer from the 90s. Adam Sandler, meanwhile, has remained one of the most likable celebrities in Hollywood. He's seen as loyal, humble, and generous, often casting his friends in his films and keeping longtime collaborators around. There's something relatable about him, and fans feel like they've grown up with him. In public perception, Sandler has aged better in the eyes of mainstream audiences. Carrey became more introspective, even mysterious, while Sandler doubled down on staying consistent and cashing in. Carrey changed what it meant to be a physical comedian. His facial expressions, body language, and ability to completely lose himself in a role made him a once-in-a-generation talent. He influenced a wave of comedians who tried to imitate his manic energy, but none quite succeeded. Sandler, on the other hand, shaped an entire brand of comedy that merged absurd humor with surprising heart. His Happy Madison model inspired a generation of comedians to take control of their work and become producers themselves. He also proved that you don't have to change your style to stay relevant, just your platform. So who changed comedy more? Carrey changed the art. Sandler changed the business. Jim Carrey has stepped back from acting, focusing on painting, activism, and personal peace. He's been selective with roles, appearing in Sonic the Hedgehog and speaking openly about mental health, creativity, and the dangers of fame. Adam Sandler is still grinding. He continues releasing films with Netflix, surprising audiences with occasional dramatic turns, and delivering what fans expect: laughs, comfort, and familiar faces. While Carrey stepped back, Sandler's built a machine that keeps going. Success isn't just money. It's impact, legacy, influence, and fulfillment. Jim Carrey gave us art, emotion, and unforgettable moments. He became a symbol of creative freedom and personal transformation. Adam Sandler built an empire. He entertained millions, created jobs for his friends, and turned comedy into a sustainable, profitable business. So who's more successful? It depends on how you define success. But when it comes to cold, hard cash, Adam Sandler wins. And in the end, we're all winners for having lived in a time where both these comedy giants made us laugh, cry, and remember that even the funniest people are still just humans.